It's the D Word podcast, and today's podcast is more or less an update as to what is going down here on my YouTube channel. I started off YouTube years back, and I think I started it off when I just started off radio, and I just felt it was cool to be on YouTube. And over the years, YouTube has actually benefited me in the car world. I started off doing some funny videos back in 2011, 2012. And that got me a small little TV show, which I'm grateful for. But now in 2024, as I look back, there's many things that has changed over the years. But one thing is constant, and that is my love for radio. That is what I do. And a lot of people still get this misconception I'm a DJ permanently. I'm actually not really a DJ permanently. I have the gift to do both, which I'm grateful to. God for giving me that gift, but I'm a radio host through and through. It's what I do. I love sharing knowledge of music, and sometimes I do play out, but it's not something that I do every week. I'm not a mobile DJ, not at all. I'm a radio host, so let's just get that out of the way. But this podcast was more an update podcast to talk about a few things that I've done over the years and a few things that I'm going to be doing here on my YouTube channel. So if you have subscribed to my YouTube channel, I want to say thank you for being part of this community. What can you expect here? Well, I will be doing these updates now and again just to talk about a few things, but this was more putting you in alignment as to what's going to happen here. So true story, being on radio is fun, it's engaging, and it fulfills things that honestly you don't get in many jobs. You get to engage with people, you get to talk to people, you get to create entertainment. And a podcast is a smaller version of that. If you didn't notice, my podcast, I never ever edit it. If I make a mistake, I'm going to continue talking. Now, on radio, it's the same. Radio is live. There's no time to make a mistake and stop and restart. No, we'll edit that part and just cut it off. And I notice a lot of people like to put out the best online. And I get that. But my podcast, nothing is edited. If I feel like scratching my face, I'm going to do that. If I feel like doing this, you know what I mean? Being real. Now, I want to say this, right? Podcasters are doing a version of radio. The difference is you get to listen to it whenever you want to. But I'm not going to be doing the similar kind of podcast here. When I'm on radio, we have a time frame, what to talk about, what to say, when to say it, and deliver it from there. But on a podcast, I'm not governed by any time. I can do it my own time, my own way, my own style, which is a bit I won't say liberating, but it is in a way liberating. But I love the space where we get to share things and talk about things. Now, I want to share many things on this podcast, but the first thing I want to talk about is understanding that the world is evolving. True story, I started off Facebook when I was in my 20s, early 20s, right? And I honestly don't post anything fun on Facebook, because I know the quality of comments that's going to come will disrupt my peace. So I know that. But Instagram has also been a bit weird because a lot of people love to spectate on Instagram. And if they see something online that you have, that they don't have, instead of saying, well done, they tend to be silent. And this could be from people who you know or people who you don't know. But I felt there was an app that actually was quite cool and I loved being on it, was TikTok. And I started off TikTok about 2-3 years back. I honestly thought that TikTok was for kids, but actually it's not for kids, it's for anybody. And initially I said, what is a radio guy going to do on TikTok? I don't know. And then I realized that when I'm on radio, there's certain things I can't talk about on radio, but I can share that on TikTok. So I started talking about music that I love, that many people don't know about me. People think that I love hip hop and R&B only, nothing else. But actually, I love deep house a lot in my personal space. And I don't play that on the radio often. And if I do, it's only a short time a week. And I realized that, hey, TikTok can be a place where I can talk about deep house, I can share deep house, and it was more built on updating your playlist. So if you are a person that streams music you would love my TikTok, because I will talk about a song, I'll mention the name of the song, I'll mention the artist, and so forth. A lot of people don't get the fact that sometimes, even on TikTok, when you play a song too long, it gets cut off, muted, or copyrighted. That also works here on YouTube. Now, you got to understand, as a content creator, we don't do stuff we're not passionate about. But on YouTube, I felt that I needed to figure out where was the sweet spot. Taking what I learned on TikTok and bringing it here is the plan going forward. So, for example, the same content I put on TikTok, I kind of like put it on Instagram. But there's a big difference between both. I noticed that whenever I post deep house stuff, people respond to it. People say, hey, I like that. Thank you. They acknowledge it. They like it. They share. They comment. But if you do R&B, hip hop, or classic house from the 90s or 2000s, people don't say anything. Now, if you are that person that watches and don't participate, you're a spectator, right? But what you're doing is you're giving the content creator, like a person like me, an idea that you don't like what we posted. Because if you don't engage on content that people are posting, they are taking the time to post it for you, and you don't say, hey, I like that, my era or whatever, people are going to think that you don't like it, so they're not going to dish out more of that. Now, the era that has been very strong on my TikTok in particular is Deep House, because look at the engagement on Deep House versus any other genre. It's like 10 to 1. It's like very different. So with that being said, I'm going to be taking the template of my TikTok and imploding it onto my YouTube. And I feel that if you are a person who loves what I'm sharing here, you will love what I'm going to be dishing out here on my YouTube. So, how can I say this nicely? I will be posting videos that are built on my daily life, like this one, and that will be called the D-Word Podcast. But the School of House is something new that I started last week, and it's like a radio show. So even though I'm mixing it, people will be like, why are you talking on it? I'm talking on it because I don't want the video to get blocked, one. And number two is because it's not a DJ mix. It's a show. So it's like a radio show, but I'm mixing it, but I'm also giving you information. So my content on the School of House will be built on content that you need to know about. But the D-Word Podcast will be just about sharing stuff in my world and updates like this. I will be doing more updates like this, but I felt that this was an update that needed to be said and shared with, because I value you here on my YouTube. So if you follow me on TikTok or on Instagram, you would see a similar vibe on my shorts here on YouTube. And I hope this update will be beneficial to you. So if it's new being here on my channel, thank you for being here. And if you have been here for a while, thank you for being part of the growing community. So that's the update.